Hello, freedom lovers. My name is Martha Bueno, and this is Latin Libertarians. And tonight is August 18th, 2021. And as usual, I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Zach Foster. Hello.
Hello, Martha.
How's it going tonight, Zach? We have so much to talk about today. I am so excited for this episode.
It's going all right. I am doing well on my end, although I am mildly to highly annoyed. Some friends and I from my old life are working on trying to get somebody out of Kabul right now, and Canadian consular staff is ridiculously difficult to get a hold of, but we are still trying. This particular individual, who will not be named right now, is somebody who did a lot for our side, and some of the guys who worked with him absolutely refused to let in this person. So if he's still around, we'll let you guys know next week.
Indeed. Plenty going on with Afghanistan tonight. I want to go there for a minute before we get on with our Latin Libertarian and our guest and everything that's going on with Latin America, or I want to skip over Afghanistan
Not
for tonight?
particularly, but I'll let you say whatever you want to say.
I mean, the situation is messed up. I think it's one of those moments where libertarians, we were proven right. That's all I wanted to say on that issue. I think libertarians have been saying for the last 20 years that this war, unfortunately, was unwinnable. And, here we are. So moving along quite rapidly. There's a lot going on in Latin America this week, specifically Venezuela, Cuba. Where do we start, Zach?
Oh, goodness gracious. Where do you want to start? It all ties back to the Cuban regime. It all ties back to the war on drugs, ultimately.
It definitely does. Definitely does.
The Cubans are still protesting. We do have updates on two particular members of the Cuban LP who were released from regular jail. They're on house arrest right now. And any further details is still in the darkness right now while things work themselves out. But we're very glad that these people, number one, they're still alive. We saw a lot of folks get ghosted by that regime. And we're glad that at least Marisol is with her daughter again, because that was very difficult. And also, the relatives taking care of this kid, you can only lie to the kid for a couple of days that mommy has to work late, before the kid starts noticing and calling BS. So we're very glad that that mother is reunited with her child, although it is officially illegal to criticize the government in Cuba now.
Yes,
it actually was not illegal before. I was very surprised. Yeah, I said I'm surprised that they had not done this earlier, but it is now officially illegal to criticize the regime.
Imagine that, right? So it's, if you say anything, and they don't clarify what exactly it is, but if you say anything against the Cuban regime, that's a crime. Of course, being a journalist in Cuba, being an artist in Cuba, all those things were already criminal activities. So this is just one more, but this is an important step. And I think it's something that, in the United States, we talk a lot about social media and if it's free speech and whatnot. Well, officially in Cuba, social media, you can go to jail for saying something on social media against the regime. So that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem for the island.
The censorship is different in that society, that being a communist country. Over here, what people are calling censorship is essentially private companies deciding to prevent specific individuals from using their platform for saying whatever. I'm not even going to get into whether that's right or wrong, but that is a private sector style of censorship that is not broad, in the sense that it doesn't apply to everybody or an entire class of people. Whereas the censorship down there, no, it's the government, and it's officially a law now. If you protest or even if you criticize the regime in whatever setting, you can go to jail.
I mean, think of it like, for protesting in Cuba, people were given speedy trials within 96 hours, and they've been giving people year sentences. We're talking about people of all ages. There are several 16, 17, 18-year-olds that are behind bars for going out to protest on the July 11th protests that broke out all over Cuba. So this is a regime that they don't even value the fact that they're 16 and 17-year-olds. They will put you in jail regardless. In Marisol's case, she has a young daughter. Her and her husband were both in jail. So this poor child had nobody. I mean, they don't care. They will just take you in. So now having this additional law, it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, there are children of single parents, the single moms who got arrested in the protests and sentenced to a year in prison. And because there's no relatives for those particular families, those kids are now wards of the state.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
So
I mean,
they're
in
going to
Cuba,
grow
all
up.
children are wards of the state. You do not, your children don't belong to you in
Okay,
Cuba.
they're going to a crappy communist government orphanage.
Basically. But I just wanted to make that point because a lot of people aren't aware that under socialist or communist countries, children don't belong to you. It's just like in China, just like in North Korea. Children belong to the state. Not, I mean, it's a weird concept for us in the United States where we, it's my child, it's your child. No. In Cuba, you don't really have a say. If the government says your child is going to war, your child goes to war. I mean, I guess we kind of have that same concept here a little bit.
Well, over here, your child has to volunteer to go to war, and he has to legally no longer be a child. Whereas down there, we watched 15-year-old boys getting kidnapped off the streets and forced to serve in the revolutionary militia.
This is true. And we watched videos of this, guys. It is absolutely real. There's a lot of stuff that we're not publishing and we're not posting because it's absolutely horrific.
Because we're going to get demonetized.
That too.
I mean, if it's one thing, it's just our platform, but this is an LP TV show. We're not trying to get the entire LP demonetized. That'll kind of make me
banned from the internet forever. I mean, I'm sure they want a reason to do it to them. So we aren't going to be the reason why it happens. But you can find these videos. They're out there. Plenty of people in Cuba were taken from their homes. People were shot and killed by the Cuban government in their own homes. Díaz-Canel, the president, he's unelected. I don't understand how the United States even views him as the president, recognizes him. But anyways, I digress.
I'm gonna describe Díaz-Canel as that super dictatorial assistant manager at your first job that as soon as the manager left the building, this assistant manager was just the biggest total despot on the planet because of his French fry expertise. That's Díaz-Canel, but in Spanish.
That's Díaz-Canel. He's I mean, Fidel Castro, for as much as I hate him, was brilliant. The man has revolutionized, for the worst, the world. However, Díaz-Canel, I mean, the guy, he went on TV and told the military to attack the people that were protesting. This is who is the president of Cuba. I guess he might be a little smart because he hasn't been taken off any social media platforms. He may be smarter than Trump. I don't know. I'm saying he's not very smart, but I guess he's proving me wrong because he has yet to be removed.
I would argue that Díaz-Canel has a little bit better impulse control than Donald Trump. And that's the principal thing that gets Donald Trump in trouble with social media platforms before. Because Nicolas Maduro has gotten deplatformed several times because that dude just cannot resist from, insulting 20 million people in one tweet. Whereas Díaz-Canel is much more restrained, which is why he flies under the radar. Because remember, the overwhelming majority of these cases, it's not like some 22-year-old intern at Facebook Industries is flagging you down specifically. Almost all this crap is by algorithms, and certain people around the world have learned how to weaponize algorithms and mass flag people. So it sucks, but it is what it is. That said, though, I think Díaz-Canel has better impulse control. Anyway, moving along. Wait,
before we bring on our guest, I just want to say, guys, please hold on for a little while longer after the show. We're going to interview a guest that you're going to love. He's amazing.
We have multiple guests, don't we?
No, we only have one.
I'm sad.
We're going to have a video that Mei-Ling was going to send in the Cuban Galt and was not able to get it in time. So we're one guest. However, guys, we are starting up an initiative for Cuba. We found a way to get medicine to Cuba. It takes a little while, unfortunately, and it costs a little bit of money. Every pound that goes to Cuba, it costs $5.50 to ship. But we found a way, and I want to tell you all about it. But we do have a guest waiting, so we're going to go with our guest. But please, please, please stick around. We are launching tonight. We're launching right here, right now. And this is going to be big for the people in Cuba. People are dying. They need medicine. They need medicine urgently. And we at Libertarians believe in voluntarism. So please stick around for that. Let's get going with Edson. Zach, please introduce our guest.
All right. Our next guest was a human rights activist in his country of birth. He came to the United States in search of a better life. He discovered the unexpected horror of what it is to spend a certain period of your life inside of migratory detention, courtesy of the Department of Homeland Security. Today, he is a survivor, and he is one of the most active activists I have ever met, while he continues to support human rights in his country of birth and puts lots and lots of energy into helping other refugees here at home, not only with their legal cases, but integrate into American society. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to all of you my good friend Edinson Calderón.
Hello, Edison.
Hello, everyone. Good night, and thank you for having me this night. I'm so happy to be here with you. That's an honor to me to be here with you.
Thank you for joining us. So first off, Zach, you didn't mention where Edinson was from.
Well, why doesn't Edinson mention where Edinson is from?
Where are you from, Edinson?
I'm from Venezuela. My pronoun is he, him. I live now in New York. I arrived here in United States through the border between United States and Mexico. I'm asking for asylum in the border, and they sent me immediately to the detention. I was in detention around 4 months. I'm arrived here in 2018. Well, when I was on detention, the situation was so horrible because when I was there, I came to know how horrible is the situation for people who come here to try to find something help. Also, I saw a lot of Venezuelan people and Cuban people. At that time, I don't know about the situation about the Cuban people who are here, because I think in the situation for the Cuban in the United States still same like some years ago. But when I was in detention, I saw people from Cuba, and the people was deported to Cuba at this time. For that reason, I'm making my own campaign, and now I'm making my own organization. The name is Ana Letter Say Alive. En español es Una Carta Salva una Vida. I'm making that campaign because when I was in detention, I came to know how horrible it is to be there when you don't know about any people in this country, when you have a family here. And really the situation is so strong, also because we have the more situation, or the more things strong in the detention is any person can to explain you what are you doing there, because it's not like when you do something bad and you go to the jail, they just say, well, you will be here until that time. But when I was in detention, any person told me how long time I can be there. That's so more horrible for every person who are there. When I get released,
they were detaining you indefinitely. You had no charges, and they couldn't even tell you how much time you were going to be there.
Yeah, I have any. I don't do anything here because that's my first time that I was here. Just they sent me to detention, and they took me 4 charges, because I'm no citizen from the United States, because I haven't any documentation to be here, because I asked him for asylum in the border. I would like to explain you the situation that I don't cross the line. I didn't cross the line. I didn't break any rules to come here. I asked him for asylum in the border place. Just that sent me to detention. That's it. They send me like a person who do something bad, because I was in the jail.
I want to just point out that it is the legal process, if you're going to apply for asylum in the United States, to go to the border and ask for asylum. So you actually followed the rules, because I know that's something that a lot of times people are like, well, if you just follow the rules. You followed the rules.
Yes.
And you were put into a detention center.
Yeah, because when I was when I was in detention at that time was in 2018, almost 3 years ago. When I was there, the situation was so different at this time, because at that time, the I don't know how you say, the campaigns or the people who coming from Central America or any place coming together, and they have a lot of people outside in the border. But when I was there, everything about there didn't happen, For that reason, the people at that time came to come to the border and asking for asylum in the good way. But after the COVID situation, the border is still closed for maybe more than the 1 year and a half. And the people who are there, they have a lot of problem also, because the place is so dangerous. We have mafias, we have a lot of bad people there, and the people don't have another option that to cross the line illegally, because they thinking is my life or cross the line, That's the situation for the people who aren't there. I think the government don't thinking about that, because they say they try to make everything good now, but why they don't open the border, If they don't open the border, the people still crossing the line like this. The coyotes making a lot of money, and what we can to do? That's the point at this time.
So
that's the situation in the border.
Closing the border is creating an opportunity for coyotes and cartels to make money.
Yeah, it's a big business at this time there. Well, guys, I would like to talk also a little more about my campaign. When I get in my asylum, I was released from detention. I get my asylum inside the detention. When I was released, when I come here to New York, an organization helped me. The organization, the name is Queer Detainee Empowerment Project. This is an organization to LGBTQ plus community, because I'm part of that community. And that organization helped me. And when I arrived here in New York, I start to work with that like volunteer. We have in that organization a special activity. The activity is to mail letters to say the people who are in detention. Why? Because the people who are inside the detention, normally the people having family, normally having any friends here, and they don't talk with any person there, One day I get a case from a transgender woman. She was in the detention around for 2 years, but I get a case because it's a transgender woman, look like woman, but in the paper she's a man. At that time, the policies in ICE, they don't know what we can to do with the person, because they came to send the person to woman's place, and also they came to send the person to men's place inside the detention. They send this person to segregation. She was in segregation around 3 years.
Wait, 3 years?
Yes, she was in segregation.
3 years she was left in segregation.
Yes.
So by herself.
By herself, yes.
That's just cruelty.
Yeah. And when I start to send the letter her,
oh dear Lord,
she sent me the answers and everything. And one day she sent me a picture. She making a picture. When I saw the picture, it's like a blender in the roof. But I can't understand why she sent me that picture. When I start to read the letter, I start to cry, because she told me that picture represents that 2 times that I tried to kill myself here inside the detention, because I thinking that I'm alone in the whole world. I haven't any family here. I'm still in the place, in segregation place. I don't talking with any person. I receive my food through a little oil on the door. She go to have a little sun use 1 time per week. When I read all that situation, I'm start to crying. But at that time, I came to know the power that the Anna letter have, because with Anna letter, you can to save a life from somebody, because she told me that after that I received the letters, my mind was changed. Now I thinking somebody thinking me, somebody supporting me. At this time, thank you to God, the person is free, is here in the United States. But it was so horrible. For that reason, I create my own organization, my own campaign that and a letter saved a life.
Absolutely. A letter can save a life. And thank you for what you're doing. So you're also working with Zach in, I know you guys have worked together in the past to help other people. You want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing besides Una Carta Salva una Vida? Please tell us a little more about your activism, because I think what you're doing is amazing.
Just I told you a little resuming how everything was created. But in my way here in the United States, I working to try to help my own community, is a Venezuelan community, because I am from Venezuela. When I was here in detention, all people in detention told me all the time, you can call to your embassy or your consul like other people who are here, because all people who are in detention, they call the embassy or consulate from his country, and the people helping there, they helping the people who are inside detention with many things, medicines. If the people need lawyers, letter support or something like that, they helping. But when I try to find the number from my embassy or from my consul, they didn't have any number, because we haven't nothing about that here in the United States. For that reason, I think, wow, I need to do something for my own community, because my own community is like they don't have nothing here, nothing support here, because the Cuban people have council or it's in a big community who making a lot of things to help your community, because you have here for a lot of time, but for the situation for Venezuelan community is totally different, because we haven't anything here in the United States. I started to work to helping the people, to Venezuelan people who are in detention. In that case, try to connect with some organizations. In this way, I create my campaign, that Anna Say Alive. We try to help the people when the people is in detention. The people call us. We try to support them. We try to send $20 per month to every person who are in detention. It's a little money, but that's our possibilities at this time. And with that $20, the people come to call the lawyers, come to call to another organization. They want.
Yeah, just real quick to tell our audience members, from these ICE detention facilities, there's no such thing as you can just make a phone call. You have to buy phone credit from commissary. So if the detainee does not have somebody sending them money, they're not making phone calls.
Thank you, Zach. And also, you can work inside the detention. I working all that time that I was in detention, but they only pay you $1 per day. And also, you're working all week, but every week you only receive $2 or $3. That's it. You can't to tell with them what happened with my money, because any person knows nothing inside of it.
So you get paid $1 a day. How much is a phone call, though?
Is per minute here in the United States around 50 cents. If you try to call to your country, international call is around $5 per minute.
So you would have to work for 5 days, but not even get paid that to be able to make a phone call for a minute to your country. Like, wow.
Yes.
Talk about the cruelty.
It's so strong. It's so horrible. For that reason, we try to send a little money to the people who are inside the detention, because also the people need to try to find a stamp, envelopes, if they need something special for his care, for the mouse, something, to go to the restroom. They need to pay for everything. That's the situation is in the detention.
And to leave the detention facility, you also have to pay, right? Once you get released, there's also a bond to get out.
Yes, if they provide an advance to you, you need to pay that. If they say you are released now, at this time it's snowing, they don't take care about that. They just say go outside. If you don't have money to pay the bus or tickets to get flight, also it's no problem for them. They say just can go. That's it. For that reason, we think in all the situation, we try to support the people when the people is inside the detention. We let us support money. We try to connect with another organization where the people will release. We start on a big job. All time I'm working with SAP until 1 a.m. Sometimes we didn't sleep because sometimes we have emergencies like this because sometimes somebody call us, give me free now. It's a night time, I have the money, I don't know where I can to go, something like that. It's so horrible. When the people is free, we start on a big job with different people to try to find tickets to the person, to try to find hotel for the person, to try to find a person who can pick out the person in detention, to drive the person to the hotel or the airport or the terminal. And also we try to find people who can provide food to the person because, for example, when I was in detention, I was around 4 months. I never eat inside the detention food. I never eat meal. I never eat chicken or meat. Just they only provide to you vegetable and soya fruit. Soya fruit?
Like tofu.
Yeah, something like that. But it's no real food. That's a more explanation.
So that person you were talking about before that was in prison or in the detention center for 3 years, she never had real food for 3 years.
Yeah, you can understand now how feel the people when the people go outside. The people want to eat everything because they are so hungry. For that reason, we try to find also people who can provide food. If somebody want to support when we have this situation, the people say, well, I can to send the food through some app. Just give
How
me
can people help you? Where can they find you? How can people help you with your mission? I think this is such a worthy cause to not only send letters to people inside, but to also help them. Zach, I know you've helped Edison get people that were just released, get them the help they need. So where can they find more information on this endeavor?
The particular social media for Edinson's organization is in Spanish, but it's called Una Carta Salva Una Vida. So real quick, that's Una, U-N-A, Carta, C-A-R-T-A, Salva, S-A-L-V-A, Una, U-N-A, Vida, V-I-D-A, okay? And if you guys want to, you can reach out directly to the Libertarios Hispanos page on Facebook, or you can reach out directly to Martha or myself on social media. And then we will be more than happy to share the link with you to get to that page. If you want to support some of those projects, because Edinson and I are working together and combining our projects all the time. Oh, are you going to show us?
Yeah, I will show you.
Okay, show us.
You can see
S-U-V. Oh, okay.
It's a little hard to see because of the camera, but
right there. Stay right there.
Oh,
okay.
Well, maybe I
so
can
put
in the commenters.
Yeah, put in the comments. Put in the comments.
Sure.
Thank you. You post now, and you can find that name that you see here and down the your TV or your actor. Try to find that in social media, Instagram, and also we have a special email address. It's the same like you see here, and una carta salva una vida @gmail.com. Up into the Instagram, you can find me. My name is Edinson. You can find Edinson, or you can find the hashtag Una Carta Salva Una Vida. You can try to connect with us all the time. We put information because everything that all this situation happening every day. Every day we have different people who was released, people who need something, people, some emergencies. At this time, we are so worried because the situation between United States to Venezuela, we don't know. We know what is the situation. We haven't any connection with Venezuela at this time. They say that, but from the last Saturday, they start to deport Venezuelan people to Venezuela. They send the people to Dominican Republic. In Dominican Republic, they change the flights and they send the people in commercial flights, and also those commercial flights are from the government from Venezuela. You know,
So the way that they get around deporting people to Venezuela, because they'll come out and say, Homeland Security is not deporting any Venezuelans to Venezuela. Well, the truth is Homeland Security sends them to Dominican Republic or to Trinidad, and then those countries immediately deport them back to Venezuela.
And sending people back to Venezuela should never happen. Same way as sending back
real
to Cuba.
quick, because Venezuela was in the news lately, there's a peace dialogue. For starters, is there peace in Venezuela right now?
Well, the situation, sorry guys, but this is a little hard for me because I'm so worried because that guy that they deported, at this time they are deporting 6 people from Venezuela. And we don't know what happened with the people in that country because, the situation is so horrible than the Afghanistan or than Cuba. We haven't any place where we can to go to find something support, something security there. And we are so worried because we don't know, and maybe the government can to kill that person if they want. That's it. For that reason, we are so worried. We try to say something or to do something here in the United States. We asking for the support to all people who come to support us because we don't want that the United States change the rules for us. Just we want that they can to provide to the people the right way to get an asylum. The people want to go to see, and I just all these people that they did deportate now. The person never say that they never saw the just the officer make it the deportation, and that's it. They don't know, they can't understand what is the real situation for that people in Venezuela, because when I was on detention, I asked to the officers about the situation of my country, and the answer was like this. They told me, if I ask to you now, what is the situation in Noruega, what do you know? I told him nothing. I know nothing about your country because we don't know nothing about any specific country. Just we are here working. They told me that. For that reason, just we want that the government, that the organization for the human rights try to help us, try to help the people, the Venezuelan people who are here in the United States, because we have a lot of people who are inside the detention at this time. We have people who are in detention more than 1 year waiting for some resolutions and anything happen. And also at this time, we have this situation that we are so worried. The people who are in detention are so worried. The family from them are so worried because maybe tomorrow they come to send the people to Venezuela and they come to kill them there,
The situation is very dire in Venezuela. So, something that we get asked a lot here is, why do people come to the United States? So could you tell us, Edison, why you came to the United States?
Yes, because we are in America, we are American people. The people thinking, the people say you are an American person when you arrive in the United States, but that's not true because America is from Canada to Argentina. And, we are American people, but in all America, we have big problems at this time. But the only country that they try to help the people who from Venezuela or Cuba or some place that have problems at this time is the United States. because any country say in the history, we try to help, we try to support, we try to do something for, try to make your country better, you know? For that reason, all people come to United States because we thinking that's a place, this is a place to the liberty, to the people can to be like a humans people like we us, but for that reason the people come to here because we thinking here we can try to find support, we can try to find here peace, we can try to find here annualize because the life for our Latin people is so strong. Do you know, guys, how strong is not only for Venezuelan people, it's not only for Cuban, it's for the people from Central America, it's for the people from many countries from our place, from our beautiful, bigger America, because that's the situation. And for that reason, I'm here, because I try to survive. The people, when the people come here, just thinking that I need to survive, I want to survive. Not just for me, because all that people who come in here have a family, and the family waiting for the help that the person can to say to them. For that reason, the people come to the United States.
To survive. I think that's such a beautiful statement that you just said. It's, I think for a lot of people, especially in this country, it's something that they don't realize, the struggle that it is in other countries in the world where governments are authoritarian to the max, like Venezuela, a country where it's very unsafe and you don't have a future and you don't have a way to feed your family. So I think it's important for people to hear that coming from you, because it is a struggle to survive.
I want to say sorry about that I feel, because it's so strong, you know, it's so strong when you need to talk for all your country, when you try to do something to support your people, because the situation is so horrible also here in the United States to the Venezuelan people, because we haven't any place to go. For that reason now, for example, now we have that deportation, where I can to go now to ask him what happened with the people, how I can to go to do something. Just is everything that I can to do with my hands is that I doing with SAP, with the all people to try to support us, to connect with us, because it's a lot of needs that the people have at this time inside the detention.
Very true. Zach, do you have any questions? Anything you want to add?
One thing I would like to add, if anybody hasn't noticed that crawl going across the bottom of the screen, that is Una Carta Salva Una Vida. Search exactly that on Instagram. You will find Edinson's organization. And you guys can feel free to just reach out directly if you guys want to offer support. There are always people that need to be helped. There are always ways that people collaborate. If you can give somebody in an ICE detention center some phone minutes, if you can write them a letter and provide them with some stationery and postage so that they can write back, send them a care package with some real food and not crap food. They are allowed to get mail in there. It's just that very few people do. So y'all can communicate directly with Edinson's group. And trust me, if you want to help some refugees, this is the way to do it.
Absolutely. Yes, I also would like to say, all the people who want to support or who can to support that situation, the best thing that I'm doing is everything that I can to do is to you, to the person who needs that help. You know, because we are a little bridge between the person who can to provide something to the person who are inside the detention. For that reason, our campaign and our organization, the name is Alerted, Safe Alive, because everything starts like this. You can start making an alert to send on people who are inside the detention. You can start in this way to know how is the situation for this person. If you want to support in something, you can. If you want, if you can, just with the letter, it's okay too, because the people need good things, good wish for them, and also they need to know that we are here working for them.
So there you go, guys. You can, if you can just help writing a letter. It's very simple. You don't even have to spend a lot of money. You can help in ways that are meaningful, like writing letters. Of course, cash donations are always accepted. And again, you guys have helped people when they leave the detention facilities. Zach and I told that story of that one kid that not only did you help leave the detention center by bringing his case to a Hispanic news media station that helped get him out, but also that young man had foot surgery or something along the lines, and they kicked him out of the ICE detention facility without any equipment, no crutches, no wheelchair, no clothing, no food. They just let him go. And Edinson and Zach, you guys were able to not only provide him with a place to go that evening, but for several days, you guys Ubered him some food, got him some clothing. I mean, what you guys are doing really, really, really matters. And it's
I remember that. I remember Edinson calling me at like 11 o'clock at night and saying, hey.
Yeah. And you guys got him across the country back to his mom. You guys did all of this work. And, you know, Edinson, I think it's something that especially libertarians, we talk about a lot, how we are giving people and we want to help people. And you're the embodiment of that. You're the embodiment of voluntarism. You give so much to these people to be able to help out. And the world needs more people like you.
I'm so happy because I think we are in the same way. I think we are a family too, because we try to help the people in this situation. And when you need something that I can to do, just let me know. I'm here to support everything that we can to support the people who need at this time. A lot of help.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for everything that you do. And thank you for joining us this evening. Guys, please go to Una Carta Salva Una Vida. I know it's a mouthful. It's literally a letter saves a life. And you too can help save a life. You can help write to somebody, or like I said, donate, or just help move them. Donate your airline miles, which is what I did. You know, anything you can do. There's always a way. There's people in need. There's stuff you can do to just help, and it really doesn't have to be a big deal. So again, thank you, Edinson, for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you to you, and have a good night. And I hope to see you soon.
For sure, we definitely need to do some events at a border, at an ICE detention facility soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
All right, Zach, that was. My heart is broken. Venezuela is one of those countries that took me in when I was a child, and I have great memories from Venezuela. And to now see people from this great nation suffering the way they are at the hands of this country that also is my home country that also took me in. So socialism is a disease. It truly is. And so here we are. So as I promised, we are going to talk about Cuba as well tonight, and an effort that Zach and I are putting together along with People for Liberty, an organization that is nonpartisan and is nonprofit because it is more than just politics. And I know this is the Libertarian channel, but it's more than just politics. I think libertarians, we again believe in voluntarism, and there's a huge need right now in Cuba for medicine. People are literally dying. They don't have access to the most basic of needs, Tylenol. If you have a headache, there's nowhere to purchase or take or have any analgesic. There's nothing for pain in Cuba at the moment. There's no antibiotics. COVID is real. COVID is happening. And when it's happening in a place where people have no nutrition and no access to medicine, COVID becomes very, very, very deadly. So I guess
crematoriums are running 24/7, and I keep getting photos of mass graves. They're constructing them with concrete cinder blocks, and they're up to 10 feet deep. Now you guys know.
It is very dire. Again, you can search the internet for a lot of these videos of, hospitals. We played them here too.
When I joined the Libertarian Party, I swear to God, I thought I was going to just knock on people's doors and talk about freedom for 5 minutes. I really thought that was going to be my future of activism.
And here we
I had no
are.
idea it's
Zach,
gonna be
you know
like
what?
refugees and communism and crematoriums 24/7. Ah ha 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 ha. Welcome to insanity. No,
Well, you know
didn't see
what?
any of that coming.
If nobody else is doing these things, somebody has to do them. And this is something we've also had Dadman, David Andrew Gay, on this show, and he to me is the embodiment of people who are like, you see a need, you fill a need. And for those that don't know him, he runs this charity, $5 charity meme. I always forget, the name is super long, but
his main page is Liberty Memes.
Liberty Memes, right? And then he did the $5 charity club, which basically you give $5 to somebody in need, and you say Liberty Memes sent me, Libertarians sent me, and he's raised close to $2 million at this point for different causes. Lots of people that aren't libertarians, and you can imagine what it's like to receive all this help from a community of libertarians. He's single-handedly changing people's minds about who libertarians are. You know, that stereotype that we're white, rich, angry men who want everyone to die. I think that's changing. And so what we're doing with Cuba is we can't send a big shipment to Cuba of medicine. I wish we could. It would be fantastic. They desperately need it. Unfortunately, the Cuban government will take hold of it. It is not because of the embargo. Let me just make this clear. I'm sick and tired of touching this subject, because the embargo is not the reason why Cubans don't have things. As a matter of fact, the United States is the #1 provider of medicine to Cuba.
Even with the embargo.
Yes.
The U.S. is top provider, yeah.
We are. And so Cuba, they like to say things like, for example, we don't have vaccines because we don't have syringes for the vaccine. But the #1 producer of syringes in the world is China. And China also happens to be their #1 partner for trade. So if they don't have syringes, it's because China did not provide it, or China won't sell it to them. It has nothing to do with the embargo. So let's start there. The reason we can't ship a container filled with things to Cuba is because the Cuban government will take it, will seize it, and then will sell it to the people. So if we want to provide humanitarian aid, we can't do it through the traditional means. So
that's $24 for a 5-pound bag of rice. Cuba, write me out. $24 for a 5-pound bag of rice. The median income pre-COVID lockdowns was around $40-45 a month for a blue-collar worker. So 5-pound bag of rice, that's more than 50% of your monthly income. Poof.
Out the door.
If you want to stay connected with people on the mobile phone, that's another $25 for some phone minutes and 2 gigabytes of data. So if you got a relative in Miami who can spend $25, then great, you'll be able to stay connected with the rest of the world for probably another 10 days. If you don't have family in Miami,
or around the world, we're Cubans, we're all around the world. But anyways.
Oh, that's right. I forget you guys are everywhere.
We're everywhere. Our diaspora at this point is just going to end up being bigger than the island itself. I mean, we just keep growing and having children.
Because like my ethnic group is everywhere too, but like we're just working for the summer. No, that's very true. Like literally all my cousins, like they would go to Houston or like Tulsa on a guest worker program, and they'd work at Mickey D's for like 4 months, and then they'd go back to Chihuahua.
Which is the way it's supposed to work. That wall that we want to build to keep people out also keeps people in, so they can't go home. And a lot of people don't really want to stay in this country. They come here for the economic freedoms, for the freedoms in general, and then they want to go home. But let's not digress too far. That was actually a Ron
Paul quote from the 2012 election. The walls don't just keep people out, they keep people in. There you go, Bordertarians. You are respectful and mistaken. We love you anyway. Case closed.
Right. So going back to our project, Zach, you can find out all sorts of information. The website is coming along. It's still not 100% there. I owe you guys some frequently asked questions. So let me tell you what is happening with this project. If you go to People for Cuba, that's People for Cuba, the number 4 or FOR or whatever.com, you will find... Yeah, they both work. They all work. They're all there. You will find it's a landing page for People for Liberty. And as I said, they are helping us. They are a nonprofit. They will be collecting the funds. All of the money we collect will be going to this project. We will be personally buying medicine, both over-the-counter things and specifically drugs that people need. Antibiotics are the #1 thing people are asking us for. We've mentioned on this show that antibiotics in Cuba right now, I think azithromycin, you take 6 pills, if I'm not mistaken. That's the course of the antibiotics. They're going for $300 in Cuba, if you can find it, because of course your doctor can't give it to you. The hospitals don't have it. So you have to go to the black market, and it's about $300 right now. In the United States, that same medicine costs $8. So we are buying the medicine, first aid stuff, gauze, Neosporin, Tylenol, things for allergies, things people need in general. We are buying them. We're also buying medicines that they need and sending it directly to the person. We can send up to 22 pounds per person. And then they collect it themselves in Cuba. So we can guarantee that they're going to receive it. And then the big expense that we have is shipping. As I mentioned, it's $5.50 a pound. So 22 pounds comes out to $121 for just shipping. That buys no medicine. It's just to get it there. And so again, if anyone is interested, it is People for Cuba, and there's a donation link. And I hope you guys see the value in this project along with Edison's project, because I think that these are great things that libertarians were doing. We're not just talking about helping people around the world. We're doing the things to help people around the world. And I think that's sets us apart from a lot of people in politics. Lots of them, especially here in Miami, you can go on the news and see people talking about Cuba, but you don't see anyone really doing it. So we hope that you guys will join us, and we hope that this project is going to be a huge success. And if not, I'll take the blame for that one.
No, we're still saving a few people, which is a hell of a lot more productive than 0.
This is true. I have talked about one of the first people that I sent medicine to, just to prove this concept. I sent it from my own, I paid for it myself. I showed a video last week of Pedrito. He is a 26-year-old male in Cuba with cystic fibrosis. Those who understand or know about cystic fibrosis know that the prognosis for long-term is very grim. And Cuba right now, even the Cuban government, which never says anything terrible about themselves, they have agreed that they no longer have any oxygen on the island for patients. Think about that for a minute. Their ORs, their patients with COVID, they don't have oxygen for these people. I mean, the situation is beyond dire at this point. And so anything we can do to help them so that they don't die, it's a huge thing. So 22 pounds at a time is what we're working on, 22 pounds. And we are also accepting if people have direct connections to people on the island who need help. We're starting with 10 people, just so that we don't do a huge thing that when then we promise people things that we're not going to be able to achieve. We're starting with 10. As soon as we ramp up and have the funds to cover for more people, we will be doing that. So if you have anyone that you want to nominate, please do. If you want to volunteer, please do. We will have a rally here in Miami. We are planning to do something with Spike Cohen, who will be in town the weekend of September 4th. So if you're in Miami and you want to hang out with Spike Cohen and with me and with Zach, September 4th, we will have details coming shortly as to where we're going to be doing this. We will also go shooting. I mean, I know the situation is terrible, and I really haven't been able to focus on anything other than Cuba for the last few weeks and Libertario Hispano and all these projects that we're working on, Zach. But I kind of want to challenge Spike to shooting. What do you think? Can the man shoot? What do you guys think? Anybody want to post in the comments? Do you think Spike can shoot a gun?
I wouldn't know, actually. I've never been around Spike and firearms.
Oh, I mean, I have, but never shooting.
Oh man, is it a indoor range or outdoor range?
It's an indoor range, Zach. And
shucks.
I need to make sure
that means all right. Me challenging Spike to a game of pickup with some 12 gauges is probably going to have to wait till the next time. But we'll have a lot of fun with rifles. We will have tons of fun. We can actually shoot all sorts of things. And they have an archery range, which if anyone follows me on social media, I went to try it out. I didn't actually go to try it out while we were there viewing the range.
they, I thought Spike would be more of an axe thrower. Maybe. I mean, Caitlin, I don't know. We don't know if Spike can even shoot. We have no idea. So I was at the range and they're like, hey, would you like to try this archery thing? And it was so much fun. I am now obsessed. I need an archery range at my house, or I need to go more often to the range. But it was a lot of fun.
Archery is a lot of fun. I used to teach it. I just don't do it that often these days because I don't have a very big need to kill orcs.
I wasn't killing anything. There was a target at the end of the thing. I couldn't do it to kill something.
You weren't going to kill orcs from Middle Earth to save the hobbits?
No. I was just going to, shoot my little target practice. And I did really well. Apparently being a first-time shooter.
Take it by your cavalier attitude that you have never used your archery skills to defend Helm's Deep.
I've never used my archery skills for anything, although I was a big Katniss Everdeen fan.
No? Right on.
Do you?
No. Yeah.
Watch the Hunger Games?
I read the Hunger Games before I watched it.
I read the Hunger Games too. All right, we've gotten so off topic. It's not even funny. Back to Cuba.
That technically the Hunger Games is on topic. I like that ending scene for number 2 where she just wakes up and then you see Philip Seymour Hoffman. This is the revolution, and you are the Mockingjay. So sorry for the spoiler alert, but you know what? You guys have had a decade to watch the movie, so meh.
Spike Cohen does autograph guns.
This is good to know.
Come prepared.
All right. Any last announcement for our lovely audience members? Announcements, news, life advice.
I have lots of life advice, Zach. Does anyone really want it? So, Zach, you are going to be in Miami in 2 weeks?
I are going to be in Miami on September 4th.
You are going to be in Miami. We're going to hopefully have some live stream events as well, and do a lot for Cuba, I hope, while you're here, and people in the detention centers. Remember, guys,
the activism will be strong with us. Yep, still on the bottom crawl.
It's still there.
On Instagram. If you haven't followed him on Instagram yet, you might be a bad person.
You also can follow Zach and I on Instagram, on Twitter. Twitter's kind of my favorite. On Facebook. What are you on, Zach? You have weird names on.
If you're not already following me on at least Twitter or Instagram, I might just have to unfriend you on Facebook.
Well, it's funny because you have a lifetime ban on Facebook.
Well, I had to unfriend everybody preemptively. You got to make tough decisions sometimes.
I'm on Facebook. You can't find Zach on Facebook because he was zucked.
No, you can find me on Twitter, Mr. MR_Zach, ZACH_Foster.
So difficult. You need to just change that to like Zach Foster.
Or I'm on Instagram as Libertario del Norte.
Also difficult, Zach. Come on. I'm on Twitter as Martha Bueno 18. You can find me on Instagram as Bueno for Miami. And on Facebook as either Martha Bueno or Bueno for Miami. You got to make these easier, Zach. Seriously. What's wrong with you?
You know what? We'll do a contest. Whoever recruits the most new dues paying members into the LP gets to think of like my Twitter handle for 24 hours. We should form a contest like that sometimes.
More people that recruit for Una Carta Salva Una Vida and or the mission for Cuba, because I do love the LP, but we need to work on these projects that are actually
that sounds really cool too. We're gonna need to put our heads together and like think of some casino house rules though, so that we still have the advantage.
All right, fine. I do think that Zach, you need a new name, so I'm down for changing yours. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for sticking it out with us this week and every week. If you haven't liked our page on Facebook, we're Libertarios Hispanos there. We are the Hispanic caucus for the LP. And so we will be back next week, as we are every week, Wednesday nights, 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific. And see you next week.
See you next week.
Good night.